Hello, my name's Mandy Evans. I work for Toyota UK, based at Burniston in Derbyshire, and I work as part of the Young People Education team. We've put together this short presentation to support you in the preparation of your own personal CV. Now, every day you will receive opportunities. You might not always acknowledge them, you might not always take them. Now, they may come from home, from school, or from organisations that you're involved with. Now, should you take them, that will enhance your prospects and also give you great experience to detail on your CV. At the moment, living in a very difficult time, a very confusing time, and things don't seem normal anymore. And you're probably homeschooling, which has its own challenges. Now, you might feel like this at the moment, where everything is just mixed up, it's confused, and actually you don't know what the current normal is anymore. Now, what you need to realise is that during your life is exactly like that. It's a jigsaw puzzle, and sometimes the pieces don't always fit together as we expect them to or as we want them to. But what we can do is change how we move forward, how we put those pieces together. Now, at the moment, you're in a position where you can start to prepare for that next stage as you move into year 11 and year 13. So any preparation you can do now and how you put your CV together will help you in the future with those college, apprentice and applications for university and jobs. Now, what we want to do from this short presentation is just to give you a better understanding of what we're looking for, what the CV is, and actually hopefully motivate you to get you started. So, first question I think is, what do you want from a job? And hopefully some of these points here will resonate with you. I think we all really, when we have a job, want it to be quite exciting and fun and be rewarded for the input that we give. It may be that additional qualifications are what excite you or making a difference to other people. But I'm sure for everyone, the key point is that good salary you want to achieve. And you're now at the stage where you are laying your foundation for your future career. So what is it that Toyota wants from applicants and also any other employees? And how can you stand out? Now, we're looking for all of these things, dependent upon the position. And one example that's really good that you can impact now is your attendance, your punctuality and your attitude to learning that you have in school. Because every employer will contact school for a reference. Your attendance may not be as good as you would like. It may be excellent. But the key is you can affect it going forward. You can't change what's happened, but you can change what you do going forward. It may be that as part of your school activity, you're involved in different team events, whether it's a book club, whether it's a rugby team, a netball team, whatever it is. It may be you do some volunteering from school. All of these things will tell employers the type of person you are, because don't forget, at this stage, unless you get to interview, we won't actually meet you. So your CV will tell us a lot. Now, curriculum vitae is a Latin word, and it effectively means life story. So your CV tells us a lot about you. It can open doors and it gets you that first stage, that ticket to that interview. Now, it's a summary of who you are and where you are at any point in time. And it's never too early to start it, because you don't know what opportunities might be presented with you in the next week, month or next year. So it's important to make sure that it's up to date, and it's important to make sure that it's grammatically correct and there's no spelling errors, because that's a real no-no for employers if we see an application or a CV that actually has not been read or put together properly. Now, your structure of your CV is really important. It tells us who you are. It should be no more than 2 sides of A4. It should be clear, concise and relevant. And you can see here there's 9 different subject areas on your CV. Now, the ones in green are the ones that are the hardest part to write. The others, like your education and subjects and qualification, are quite easy for you to put together. One thing you do need to remember is that for those of you that are in year 11 and year 13, you will probably have to put at this point your predicted grades. That's really important. And employers will determine the next stage of their recruitment process based upon predicted grades. So that's really important when you think about your marks. It's not all about the end examination. So the profile and the other points there are the ones that are the hardest to write. But you have to start somewhere. So your personal profile, as an example, should be no more than 1 to 2 paragraphs long. So only 4 to 6 sentences, and it gives us that image of who you are. Now, there's lots online, example templates of CVs, but also of other personal profile statements. So, as a starting point, get one of those and modify it to fit yourself. It's important to remove I from every sentence because that can get very repetitive for the person that's reading it. So consider using other words. It's all about us understanding who you are and through your characteristics, skills, qualities and transferable skills. So for example, if you are working within a team at school or outside of school, then what we can see is that you're a good team player, that you can follow instruction and maybe quite disciplined, and that's important. And this is all key for that first impression that you give to the employer or maybe to a college for their application. Now, starting on that personal statement, just brainstorm, put on a piece of paper these 4 titles and think, what do you do? Don't underestimate what you do. That's really important. And by looking at some of these points, I can identify the type of character you are, whether you give to your local community, whether you are committed, whether you are someone that is disciplined, part of a team, good at problem solving. This can all be identified from some of the things that you look to put in your interests. Now, they will link together your skills and qualities and characteristics. And again, use Google. Use search engines to look at other examples. That's really important. And there's 2 examples here of how you can then put that together. But you know what? Don't underestimate what you do. When you're writing that CV, here are 8 points that you should consider. When we sit and look at CVs, we don't have lots of time, and each job we can receive hundreds of applications. So it's important that we can very quickly pull all of the information that we need, and you can help us by following these key points.
One other area to consider is your social media footprint. If a prospective employer was to take a look at you online, what would they see? Would they be viewing inappropriate content? Would they be showing you in an unprofessional light? This is really important as many employers now view social media as part of the recruitment process. It's about you being portrayed in the right light. Maybe it's time to have a clean up of your own social media footprint. And as we close, one thing to remember is we are living in very difficult times, very strange times. And as a young person, whether you are moving forward to a career or along your educational journey, the thing to remember is that you can always change where you are. It's very difficult to change the past. But one thing is, you've got a fantastic journey ahead of you. But you have to be in control. You can do that by portraying yourself in the right light, through your CV, through your social media. So hopefully this short presentation has given you an insight on how to start to prepare your CV, which will truly represent who you are and detail all your skills, qualities, achievements. So thank you for listening, and remember, invest time in that CV and invest time in keeping it up to date. Thank you.